Guys, I've got something super exciting to show you today. It's the latest flagship smartphone from OnePlus, and it's coming right up. What's up YouTube, Dave here with Seeing Through a Lens, and thanks for stopping by the channel. If you haven't stopped by here before, please be sure to click on that subscribe button and click on that bell icon so you can be notified of new videos. So guys, here it is, the latest flagship smartphone from OnePlus, the 9 Pro 5G phone, and it's in this box. Excited? I am. So OnePlus first started trading in 2014, and you know what? You had to be invited to buy one of their smartphones. Yeah, invited. Strange concept, especially for a new emerging company. But in 2015, I kind of found myself applying for an invite, and that's when I bought my first OnePlus device, and that was the OnePlus X, and God, I loved that phone. It was just the right size for the time. It was all made of glass, it was black, you know what, it just looked the business. I loved it, and you know what, to date, okay, yeah, some of the features weren't so great, the camera was awful, but you know what, it's probably been one of my favourite phones. And yeah, I applied for an invitation, and as luck would have it, I got the invite, and you know what, that was how my journey with OnePlus first started. Now, back in 2015, that phone cost £200. So that was not on a contract or anything like that, because obviously in the UK we are kind of tied to contracts, so you don't normally just buy your phone outright. You can, but normally they're heavily subsidised by the networks. So £200 to buy what was a very cool device for its time for £200 off contract. That was cheap. I also reviewed the OnePlus 7T Pro McLaren edition, and I'll put a card to that video. I think I reviewed that 2 years ago now. That phone wasn't mine, it was my nephew's phone, and actually this phone's my nephew's as well. So I'm going to give him a plug, a shameless plug for his Twitch account, so go and check that out if that's your kind of thing. But yeah, OnePlus have kind of continue to go on to make some very cool and, you know what, some quite out there technology. But yes, £200 for the OnePlus X, you know, was phenomenal. Fast forward 4 years to the OnePlus 7T Pro, and that saw a huge price jump to £799. Now, I think that was for the McLaren edition, but you could get the normal edition, which I think was £100 cheaper, so like £699. But still, you know, a massive jump from the £200 that I paid initially for that OnePlus X. Now, also, it wasn't just the price that took a jump, the quality took a jump as well, and the devices have gotten more premium as time has gone by. So now we see OnePlus competing in the premium phone market, and the price in 2021 for this baby starts at £829. Now, for £829, this is the Pro version. You can get the non-Pro version, but for £829 you'll get the 8GB RAM, 128GB of storage, but for £929 you will get the 12GB RAM and the 256GB of storage version of this device. So we really are into premium phone pricing now. So, given that this is expensive enough to be premium, can this compete in the heavily dominated Apple and Samsung world of premium smartphones? Well guys, let's get this unboxed and see what OnePlus have to offer in their latest device. Here it is. Nice, isn't it? I like it. So this is the silver version, but you can also get this in green and matte black as well. But I like the silver. I think the silver looks pretty cool. Yeah, on the back, fingerprint magnet for sure, but actually you get quite a nice little case with this, which is kind of branded up OnePlus, if you can see that, and never settle, which seems to be an ongoing slogan. Kind of got a nice, I do like this logo. I think, you know, I actually think the logo is nicer than the Apple logo. I do like it. I hate the Samsung, just Samsung, but I do like the OnePlus branding for sure. But I've also got the wireless charger. This is a 50 watt version, so this thing charges up super fast, but more of that in just a second. So guys, before we get to the ton load of features on this device, let's talk about specs. First up, and what strangely enough seems to be the most important factor of buying a smartphone, and that's the camera. Yes, we do tend to make our purchasing decisions for these things based on the camera, but you know what? You've always got your phone with you. Like I said, you know, like for me, I've got tons of cameras, so I've always got a camera, but you've always got your phone with you. Everyone that's not into photography per se has always got a phone with them, so I guess you want to kind of have a decent camera. And OnePlus have always been a little bit, I don't know, kind of like underwhelming in terms of camera capabilities, but this camera is different. Why is it different? One word: Hassleblad. Can you see that? Hassleblad. No, not the guy that played Knight Rider or the guy that was in Baywatch. Okay, I'm showing my age now. I'm talking about the Swedish camera maker Hassleblad, who have been pioneering cameras right from their military cameras that they were making in World War II, right through to innovating the first compact mirrorless camera in 2016. And we all know the benefits of mirrorless cameras, and if we don't, I'll make a video on it. But yes, in that time also there have been very notable milestones, notwithstanding that they actually used Hassleblad cameras for all of the Apollo missions. Yes, going to the moon. That's pretty cool. And this isn't the only tech partnership that Hassleblad have had. Recently they partnered up with DJI to put a Hassleblad camera on a drone, on the DJI Mavic 2 Pro. This is a 1-inch sensor, so not the quarter or the half-inch sensors that we usually see on devices like this. Yeah, I'm not talking the premium drones, but I mean, you know, this is premium enough or good enough certainly for most, you know, amateurs, hobbyists, even semi-professional drone photographers. But a 1-inch sensor, that is something pretty special. So enough about Hassleblad for now. In fact, I'm going to be doing a series of short videos, as there's so many features on this phone to talk through. The video would just go on forever and ever and ever. So I'm going to be doing a series of short videos. I'm going to cover off things like power, charging, the cameras, doing some comparisons, size, weight, dimensions, the whole lot. So you're going to get a real good, deep understanding on this device. And you know what? Hopefully you may use that for your decision making as to whether or not you might buy one of these or not. So they're going to be coming up soon. But for now, I'm going to summarize the camera, or should I say cameras, because I think there are 4 of them. 3 to 4. They work like that anyway. 3 to 4, whatever. But you have a 48 megapixel main camera. You have a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. You have an 8 megapixel telephoto camera, which I think gives you like 3.3 times zoom. And all of these cameras have got optical image stabilization. And you also have this mono camera, and that is a dedicated camera which works largely to support, you know, like detail and layering to black and white images that you might take. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. But as I said, more to come on the camera system in another video. So, software. Well, this is using an updated version of the Oxygen OS. This is up to version 11 now. This Oxygen OS, you know what, it's pretty nice to use. It's based on stock Android. It's very, very thin and light. And you know what, it just sort of brings some innovative touches to that stock Android. So nice, it's smooth, snappy, very, very fluid to navigate. And you know what, version 11 feels very, very polished. The CPU, well, that's rocking a Snapdragon 888 with 5G made by Qualcomm. This is Qualcomm's flagship CPU, and you know, they're kind of pitching it as a AI gaming photography, and you know, all in a package that's like super power efficient. So this is really their latest offering. And Qualcomm CPUs have been powering Android devices since day dot, if that even makes any sense. Like I said, in terms of the memory capabilities, you've got the 8 gig or 12 gig RAM versions, and you've also, those versions come with 128 and 256 gigs of storage respectively. And now onto this gorgeous display, and I'm pretty sure that the camera is not going to be doing this any justice, but you have this beautiful panel with 120 Hertz refresh rate, whatever that means. Well, what does that mean? Well, I'm not attempting to go into the whys and wherefores and the technical details of refresh rates, but if anyone's interested in that depth of knowledge, I'll make a video. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd want to know about more. I'll be happy to make the video. But in the meanwhile, just to summarize it, a higher refresh rate is going to make things like movement a lot snappier, a lot faster. When you think the old televisions used to be like 30 Hertz refresh rate, 120 refresh rate or 120 Hertz refresh rate is going to make your animations really, really fast. And that's going to be really interesting for gamers, because yes, this has got some punch for gaming, and I will show you some gaming on this in a forthcoming video. I've actually downloaded Asphalt 9, so kind of looking forward to that. There's got to be some sort of fun in this, right? So yes, 120 Hertz refresh rate, super, super cool for gaming. Now, not so cool for things like watching videos. Videos are usually operating at 24 Hertz. So what this phone will do is it will upscale the refresh rate of videos to kind of like just make it look a lot more cinematic and a lot smoother. But for things like reading text, surfing the web, you know, static pages, if you like, you don't need a fast refresh rate. So this thing actually downscales, and I think it downscales to something like 2 Hertz. Now, why should I bother about that? Why should I care about that? Why should I be bothered about that? Well, the higher the refresh rate, the more battery consumption. The lower the refresh rate, not so much battery consumption. So if you're just reading static pages, you're going to be saving battery power. And let's face it, that's good for us, right? Because we are very, very maternal over our battery power, right? So if you're gaming, you're going to get this at the highest performance. Yes, it's going to chew some battery, but hey, you know, this has got a big battery, but more on that in just a second. But this has got a big battery. In fact, it's got a 4,500 milliamp battery, which is big. But with the wired charger, actually battery life isn't an issue, because OnePlus say that this device can charge this can charge to give you a day's usage out of it in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. They also claim that this can go from 0 0 to 100% battery in 29 minutes. I will be testing this, but that claim is pretty insane. And that's your wired charging. But hey, what about for those people that want wireless charging? Well, we all know that wireless charging is inherently slower than wired charging. So we have this. This is the OnePlus wireless charger. It's pretty nice actually. Pretty nice. Yeah, I like it. USB-C on the back. And the claim for this is this will charge you from 0 to 70% in 30 minutes. That's incredible, because wireless charging is slow. So to get 70% out of this, with this, in 30 minutes, who cares about refresh rates and how much battery power they use? We'll just keep charging up. So that's pretty impressive. Now this is a 50 watt version. There is a 30 watt version, which obviously is slower. And I think this weighs in at about 70 pounds, give or take, I think. So yeah, wireless charging, super fast wired charging. It's interesting, isn't it? It is very interesting. But I will be testing it, and I will be back to either substantiate those claims or to rip them to shreds, or maybe just to find some middle ground. I don't know. But make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like, click on the bell icon so you can be notified of all the new videos that will be coming on this device. And yeah, that will be a video that I shall make very soon. I also love the build quality of this. I mean, this does feel premium. It's quite a nice weight in the hand, not like mega heavy. I'm going to do some comparisons with some other devices, some Apple devices, Samsung, etc. But yeah, it feels nice. It's smooth. There's no sharp edges. You know, the build quality of this is nice. And like I said, it's a bit of a fingerprint magnet on here, which I better clean it up before I give it back to my nephew. But it's built nicely. I also love that OnePlus still have this switch on the side, which kind of puts you into different modes, silent, vibrate, or just having it on ringtone. So I kind of like that it's simple, a bit like the Apple switch that you kind of flick back and forth, but OnePlus have been doing this on every single device they've had, and I quite like that. But yeah, build quality is really, really nice. And let's not forget about this camera array. I don't know if you can see that, but this camera array is just, you know, in silver. I don't know, it looks great. It looks like something out of Joe 90 or Thunderbirds. Yeah, I'm showing my age again, but it's almost like retro, but like super techie. I think it looks really good. In fact, I love it. I actually love the look of the back of this phone in this colour. See if I can get a little bit closer. There we are. But it just looks super techie and super retro. I love it. So guys, this already is a fairly long video, but it is my first impressions video. I'm going to be using this for the next week. I'm going to be doing all the tests, the comparisons, and you know, bringing you some more videos on some of the features. In fact, as many of these features I can possibly give you. But until then guys, let me know if you've got any comments or questions or anything that you want to know. Please leave those in the comments section. Given the price of this, is it going to stack up against the Apple and the Samsung devices? Hopefully we'll find out. Like I said, please subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can know when the next videos come out. Please also like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. And until then guys, I'm Dave with Seen Through a Lens. Thanks ever so much for watching. I'll see you the next time. Bye for now.